these two U substitution definite integral has a hidden step. So let me show you where the hidden step is. So first of all, the yellow integral, we have integral from 0 to 4x squared times 4 minus x to the 5th dx. So we have a 4 minus x, a linear function inside a fifth power. That is what the U going to be. So U is equals to 4 minus x, and then du is equals to negative 1 dx, so negative 1 du, that is equals to dx. So the 4 and the 0, they are in terms of x, right? So we can call them x equals to 0 and x equals to 4. So since you are going to do the integral in du, we will put the 0 and 4 to u as well. So what happened when x is equals to 4 and what happened when x is equals to 0? So here is how we write it. So u of 4, that is equals to 4 minus 4 equals to 0. And then u of 0, so that is equals to 4 minus 0 equals to 4. And then do you see that when you do the change of variable, so you will replace the dx with that, so you will have a negative 1 du, right? But this x squared is not going to be cancelled. So you will have integral from one point to another point, x squared times, so you will have an integral from one point to another point, so you have an x squared times u to the 5th and then negative 1 du. There is no way to get rid of the x squared. So what steps do you have to perform to get rid of the x squared? I call those a hidden step. So before we go into the hidden step, let me erase this first. So to get rid of the x squared, you have to do one extra step right over here. Let's do that step in red. So we will have to bring this piece and then put that in terms of x. So u is equals to 4 minus x. That means x is equals to what? 4 minus u, right? So 4 minus u, we have x squared, so we will have to write x squared, that is equals to 4 minus u squared. All right, and then when you do the integral, so the integral, we have that right over here. So we have an integral u equals to 4 to u equals to 0. And this is why I choose 0 and 4. Do you see that we started at x equals to 0 and x equals to 4, so that is x equals to 4 and x equals to 0. But it looks like after we change them in terms of u, we have the 0 and the 4 in the other way around. Is this okay? The answer is absolutely yes, as long as your arithmetic is right. Okay, and then the x squared now becomes 4 minus u squared, and then we have u to the 5th du. So we will not put this back to x, we will just do everything in terms of u. And then what's next? So first of all, we have a 4 minus u squared, right? So let's open this up. So what is that equal to? So we have a 4 minus u squared. So 4 minus u squared, I'm going to put that as 4 minus u times 4 minus u. So 4 times 4 is equals to 16 minus 4u plus u squared. So we have a 16 minus 8u and then plus u squared. All right, and then you take that times u to the 5th. So this is equals to from 4 to 0. So we have a 16 minus 8u plus u squared and then times u to the 5th du. Distribution, we have 4 to 0, 16u to the 5th minus 8u. 5 plus 1 is 6, and then plus u to the 2 plus 5 is 7. And then I know I missed something right over there. So the negative 1 du, so the negative 1 du, let me put the negative 1 back here. That is supposed to be negative 1 du, right? I forgot the negative 1. I'm going to put it back. So negative 1 du. So this is negative. So after we distribute the negative, we have a minus, plus, and then a minus, right? Minus, plus, and minus, and then this is a du. And then we do the integration. So we have u to the 6, and then negative 16 divided by 6, and then plus u to the 7, 8 divided by 7, and then minus 1 over 8, u to the 8. Let me make sure my distribution is right. So 16, we have a 16 negative 8 plus, so we have a minus 16 plus 8 minus u. All right, so everything is right. And then this one, I just prefer to put a negative 1 right over there. Okay. And then this is, what power is that? That is 8, right? And then such that u goes from 4 to 0. So once you put the 0 in, everything is gone. So you will have a negative 16 over 6. So that will be 8 over 3, right? And then 0 to the 6. And then plus 8 over 7. And then 0 to the 7th power. And then minus 1 over 8, and then 0 to the 8th power. So this is the upper limit, and then minus the lower limit, negative 16. I will just do 8 over 3. So 8 over 3, and then 4 to the 6, plus 8 over 7, 4 to the 7, multiply, and then minus 1 over 8, and then multiply 4 to the 8th. All right, so what is that equal to? So this one I know is a lot of numbers, and then you have to do a common denominator, and this is why we will take the advantage of the calculator. So here is what I did. So how do we evaluate this integral using a calculator? So it doesn't matter how complicated the integral is, this method works. So the first thing that you will have to do on your graphing calculator is you will have to hit the math key. So the math key is right below the alpha key. So once you hit the math key, they will show you the menu, right? So in the first math menu, do you see that all the way in the bottom you have FNINT? That is for evaluating a definite integral. And then you select that brings you to the home menu, and then you will have to input the upper limit, lower limit, the integrand, and the independent variable. So everything is pretty intuitive. So this goes from 0 to 4, x squared times 4 minus x to the 5th, and then dx. So I have 390, right? So I have a 390.095 whatever. And then this is an approximation. But when you do homework online, they do not accept approximation. So you will have to put this back to a fraction. So how do you do this in fraction? You hit the math key again. So this time the first option, FRAC, that means a fraction. So an arrow, fraction, that means you will have to put the answer to a fraction. So you select that, they will say ANS, that means the previous answer goes to a fraction. So you have 8192 divided by 21. So this is a 8192 divided by 21. That is an exact value, and this is approximately equals to 390.0952. I use 4 decimal places. Okay, so that is the first integral. Let's move on to the next integral. So the next integral, we have a square root, right? So let's move on to the next one. So the next one, we have a square root from -1 to 3, 5x, x plus 1. Oh, one more thing regarding the calculator. Sometimes you get an approximation and it is impossible to put that back to a fraction. Sometimes you get a decimal. That is an approximation. You want to put that in fraction. Sometimes that is not going to work. So this put the answer back to fraction is not going to work every single time. Okay, this one I'm going to let u equals to x plus 1, and then du is equals to dx. So there is no way to get rid of the 5x, right? So that means we will have to do one more step. But before we do that, let's handle the 3 and -1. So when x is equals to 3, u of 3 is a 3 plus 1. X equals to 1, you have u of -1. Then that will be a -1 plus 1. -1 plus 1 equals to 0. This is equals to 4. And then the hidden step is right over here. So I am going to take this and then change this to x equals to u minus 1. All right. And then now we do this change of variable. So we have an integral from u equals to 0 to u equals to 4. The 5x, so the x is now u minus 1. And then the u is what? The u is just a u and then raised to a 1/2 du, right? So everything is in terms of u. and then you have integral from 0 to 4 distribution. So you have a phi u 1 plus 1 half, that is a 3 over 2, and then minus phi u to the 1 half du, and then you integrate. So you have a u phi 3 over 2 plus 1 is phi over 2, and then integral is 2 over phi. You have a phi in front, and then this is a u 1 half plus 1, 3 over 2, reciprocal is 2 over 3. You have phi in front, and then this is from 0 to 4. Okay, so that is equals to 2, and then u, right, to the phi over 2 minus 10 over 3, and then we have a u 3 over 2 from 0 to 4. So the 2 in the denominator, the 1 half, the half, that is a square root, right? So you have a 2, and then you have a square root of 4, and then the fifth power minus 10 over 3, and then you have a square root of 4, a third power. Once you plug in a 0, everything is a 0. So 0 to the phi over 2, and then minus 10 over 3 times 0 to the 3 over 2. So everything is 0 inside the square bracket. And then we have 2 times 2 to the 5th minus 10 over 3. And then this is 2 to the third power, right? And then 2 to the 6th power is 64. This is 8. 8 times 10 is 80. 80 over 3, and then this is a 3. 64 times 3 minus 80, that is equals to 112. So 64 times 3 minus 80, that is 112. So this is my answer, 112 over 3. All right, so that is the end of this video. If you like it, you think this is helpful, give me a like, share, and subscribe. And please, it is worth it to come back to visit my channel. I will catch you all in the next lesson. Signing out.